I don't usually pick on individuals who show up in my comment section, but this one was important. Jocelyn McPherson is a trans woman, as you can see, and she showed up and she actually inadvertently backed up my claims that the trans community in the LGBT were really just attack dogs for the women in the LGBT. And this is concerning what the video, the BBC backs lesbians over trans women, which I was just reporting the news. And I'll show you when Jocelyn shows up. This is a very revealing thread. Xylon Ref says, I hope trans people can wake up someday. And I say same, because they're being used and they're not respected, and they should know better by now. So Jocelyn shows up and she says to me, let me tell you something. TERFs won't achieve that. Oh, wait, sorry, I better back up. I asked the question because when she showed up, I asked her, said, can I ask you something? When the TERFs kick you out of the LGB, will you still be a good ally? Which is a good question, because why would you ally with someone who hates your guts and just uses you? Now, Jocelyn says, let me tell you something. TERFs won't achieve that, but she may be right. And you were no ally. Well, that's true. I've never claimed to be an ally. And the reason I don't is because even though individually I've seen trans people actually buck this false narrative, for the most part, the trans community is anti-male. They're misandrist. They hate me because I was born a man, period. So I'd never ally with that. I have too much self-respect and too much dignity. And obviously Jocelyn doesn't. Now, she says, the best thing about me is that I'm nothing like you, TERFs, or the LGB Alliance. And if you haven't been paying attention, the LGBTQI community has stood by us as a whole. But Jocelyn won't stand by the T community as a whole. She's going to turn on them. I'll show you. Now, she says, and let me tell you something else. No truly marginalized group will lose my support, even if they hate me. So she's admitting she's an attack dog. She's admitting she has no self-respect. Men are not marginalized. Now, I said, well, there are trans men who disagree with you. I have a couple of videos featuring trans men who found out the hard way how they are viewed as men. I guess someone like you will have to disregard their experiences in order to carry on with your false narrative. And Jocelyn does. She disregards. Look what she says here. She says, well, there are trans men who disagree with you. If true, I couldn't give a shit, which is the point. As it's not, well, like I don't take your defense of trans with any more credit that the disgenuine, sorry, I'm going to screw that word up, Jocelyn, for which is presented. So I'm not claiming to be a trans supporter for the good reasons that most trans are against me, because I was born a man. But the point is, she doesn't give a shit about trans men who buck this narrative. So she contradicted herself. Jocelyn, are trans men not a marginalized group? Are they still not trans? I wish I had asked her that. This is my fault. I didn't ask her that. If at the time I didn't think of it, because I would be interested in what she had to say. But I suspect it'd be all just, she wouldn't be honest. She wouldn't deal with the situation. But she was honest here. She doesn't give a shit about trans men who suffer. For example, here's the video Confessions of a Trans Man, where he admits what a shit deal is it is to be a man. Another trans man finds out the hard way what it means to be male. Racism is about attacking men. Trans man proves that. So there's 3 separate videos where I'm talking about these issues, where once women transition to men, they realize that men are not privileged in any way or any form. And Jocelyn here is fine with that, because she is an attack dog. Now, look at this up here. If you looked at the articles there, one was the Pink News, where a trans woman who was a porn star, or at least into porn, she was giving her opinion. Now, she says, this is Jocelyn, she's talking about, they have answered the debate, that is the BBC, with 2 lesbians who said they weren't pressured by trans women. That's true. One was pressured by a bisexual woman, a born woman. And in the actual article, a porn star who didn't say she was pressured and turned out to be a rapist herself, as well as a staunch, raging neo-Nazi who called for lynchings, executions, as well as gang rape of cis mothers of trans kids. Now, Jocelyn, I don't know what her claims are true or false. It doesn't matter that they're true or false. It's the fact that she's turning on a trans woman who was silenced by the BBC. And notice her concern for cis mothers. I thought the cis were really the enemy of the LGBT. But it just goes to show you, all these people are women worshipers. Born women are top dogs in all society, but especially in the LGBT. And again, my man Eric Schiedler points it out. Wait, so it was the bi girlfriend that felt entitled, but they blame the trans women? Typical. The cis term is used to attack men, which it is. But when it's time to turn on the trans women that use the cis term to attack men, they'll get trampled under as well. And that's exactly what's happened here. This is what Jocelyn has done. See, cis people are the enemy until they're women. And so it proves that the cis term is just used to attack men. And Jocelyn here is an attack dog who has no self-respect whatsoever and no solidarity with the trans community. What she has solidarity with is the false feminist narratives that men are terrible. She has solidarity with attacking men. She's no longer there. She doesn't like men and likes to attack them. And that's why it doesn't matter if she's hated or booted out of the LGBT. So thank you, Jocelyn, for proving everything I say right. Thank you.